What's happening right now with Vicky Mboko is probably the best sports story of the year, full stop. Please let me tell you about her. Hey, I'm Coach Jackie with all your women's sports stories, and this one could easily be a movie. Okay, so this is Victoria, or Vicky Mboko. She is 18 years old, and she is currently making history, but we're not gonna start here. We're starting here when she was just a little girl who was really good at tennis. So she was born in Charlotte, North Carolina to Congolese parents, and then as a family, they moved to Canada when she was really young. Because she was a little tennis player in Canada, every year she would go to the Canadian Open or the National Bank Open. That's the big national tennis tournament that happens every year in Canada. Here she is at 8 years old, just taking pictures with some of the players. And not just players, here she is with Niall from One Direction, who was watching a match. Like, she was a big Canadian tennis fan. Of course she's gonna go to this tournament. Back to the tennis. Now she's 16 years old here, it's 2022. She's a prominent juniors player in both doubles and singles. But she has knee issues, and that knee injury ultimately sidelines her for the first 6 months of 2024. She ends 2024 ranked 350th in the world. She starts 2025 playing in the ITF Tour, which is higher than juniors, but lower than the WTA Tour, which is the highest one where all the people you know play. And she just wins a lot. In the first few months of this year, she wins 22 matches in a row and 5 ITF titles. She's winning so much that she starts qualifying for WTA tournaments, the highest level. She makes it to the second round of the Italian Open, where she faces off against Coco Gauff and doesn't win, but she does take her to 3 sets, which is pretty impressive. She makes it to the third round of the French Open. She qualifies for Wimbledon. She's having a great year. It's now the end of July, just a couple weeks ago, and it's time for Vicky to play in her home tournament, the Canadian Open, the one she went to a bunch as a kid. Some things to know. This is a 1,000 level WTA tournament, which means it's just one off from being a major like Wimbledon or the French Open. She's 18 years old. She's now ranked 85th in the world, and she has a wild card entry into this tournament. She starts playing, and of course, she's winning. In the second round, she faces off against Sofia Kenin, who won a major, the Australian Open, in 2020. It doesn't matter. Vicky wins. In the fourth round, she has to play against Coco Gauff, the top-seeded player in this tournament, number 2 in the world, a 2-time major champion, and the person that beat Victoria earlier this year. But it doesn't matter. Vicky wins. She makes it to the quarterfinal, and Vicky wins again. All of Canada is cheering on their hometown hero, an 18-year-old sensation. In the semifinal, Vicky has to face off against Elena Rybakina, ranked 11 in the world. She won Wimbledon in 2022. She's a big deal, but so is Mboko. The match starts. Elena takes the first set 6-1. Vicky doesn't have a chance, but she fights back in that second set, and she wins it. It's all up for grabs in this third set, and it is extremely close. At one point, Elena gets a match point, and then Mboko fights back, and then Mboko hurts her wrist, and she has to get her wrist taped, and then she comes back, and she just keeps persevering until this final point. If Mboko wins this point, she makes it to her home final, the tournament she went to as a kid. She will get there. At 18 years old, she does it. She becomes the youngest Canadian to make it to the final of the Canadian Open in the Open era ever. She beat 3 major champions to get there. Tonight at 6 p.m., she faces off in the final against Naomi Osaka, a player she's idolized since she was a kid. All of Canada is cheering her on, and I am too. I'll update you on what happens. I love women's sports.